This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to yet another business analysis related video. This was the point that we were looking into in the last segment, which was about the use case continuation. Now we will be moving on to something called as user persona. So quite a lot of people may not be aware of what is this persona and all, and in fact I would not be surprised if some of the business analysts also would have not used this concept in any of the projects. So what are user personas? This is nothing but creating some fictional characters to represent different segments of customers, the target audience. What does it imply? Now if we come back to a food delivery app, now when it is launched into the market, the the client would actually be interested in a specific customer segment. They will spread the entire population or demographics that is available in a given city or in a given territory or state or region into different segments, and they'll say that, okay, one segment could be, the set of people who are indulgent in, ordering food. Maybe, those who order a lot of junk food, or burgers or pizzas or desserts and all that stuff. Then there could be another customer segment which is a little bit of, uh, not so highly earning segment, who are always looking for some economical food options. The third segment could be some senior citizens. So they try to split into multiple customer segments and try to see how this app can really help each of this customer segment in having a very smooth journey or a user experience. Because if a app is developed which is not really catering properly to one of the customer segment, which is really a huge population, then your app is failing, right? And that specific customer segment may not prefer to use this app. Then you're losing business. So no company would want to do that. So ideally they find, uh, by some research or any other methods, they try to find out what are the major customer segments and how this app can be made more user friendly for those segments. When you do that, what they do is they try to create some fictional characters and say that, okay, if I want to cater to this segment, so let me pick up a character which is of this segment. Then let me look at what is their background and what could be the rough details of this particular segment's related customer, and what is the way in which they're using, what are the pain points that they're facing, and what can be added in the app to make it more easy for this specific customer to use it. Okay, so they look at, they look at the customer details, and what could be the needs, behaviors and goals, and based on that they try to tweak the app to make it more appealing to that segment. Let's take an example that makes things a little more easy. Okay, so the first persona that we have is of a person called as Alex, who is around 22 years of age. Okay, so what we are saying is here first, and again, let me make it clear right away that the user personas need not be created in a tabular format always. There's not a use case. To just give you an example and to make it a little bit more easy to understand, I've created a table, but you can actually, forget about this tabular format. You can just add a specific section and, details to it. Even that is fine. The end objective is to use the concept of personas. Okay, and in fact sometimes what happens is they'll add a image of a typical customer of this age segment and this particular thing, how do they look like and all. And that is, to make your document more appealing and all, you can do that as long as it's adding value to the person who is consuming the content of your document. Okay, so here, coming back to our example, first we focus on who could that user be. So we are saying roughly a fictional character called Alex, who is around 22 years of old and who is a college student. Now if this is the person, okay, who is using the app, then how would it be, affecting the journey, or what is the behavior of this customer, what would they look for, and what should we be providing. Okay, so what are we saying here? User details, we are saying that it's an Alex, 22 years old, 30, 22 years old who's a college student, what would be a typical lifestyle of such a person? So we are saying, okay, a person who is around 22 years and a college student would usually be busy with the classes and part-time job. So what happens for a person who is always busy with the classes and part-time job may not have enough time to cook food at home, right? So most of the students, do not cook food for themselves at all. So what do? They have to opt for eating outside. But do they go for these fine dining restaurants and high-end, expensive food options? No. So they go for a limited budget for dining out. So maybe they'll think that, okay, let me buy some cup noodles or something ready to make food items and stock it in my place and then use it on a daily basis, and maybe once a week over the weekend let me go out for dining out. But again, I'll prefer something which is a very minimal costing, which is fitting my budget. Okay, something like that would be my requirement, right, as a student. So you're telling this is a lifestyle. The next point is technological proficiency, which is nothing but you're talking about how this customer segment would be comfortable to use any technical product. So because we are developing a mobile app, right? So now how easy would this customer segment feel using a mobile app? So what are we saying here? We are saying this particular customer segment, when you talk about college students, are very proficient in using smartphones. And in fact, they keep on using so many apps. There could be hundreds of apps also in their smartphone. So they'll be very comfortable. They'll be able to quickly navigate through multiple screens and create an order within a fraction of time what it would take for any other 30, 40-year-old person, because they're always on the smartphone. Okay, that's the expectation, that's the assumption. Okay, now that after technological proficiency, we're talking about motivation. So what will motivate this particular type of customer to use your app? You're a food delivery app, right? So what will make the customer use your app or a competitor's app or any, rather than going directly to a restaurant, ordering it through this? What will motivate them is, we are saying, affordable and quick meal options. So if your app is providing this feature of uh, allowing the customer to quickly select meal options and also keep it within the budget, then that will make such customer to come back to your app on a regular basis. Now food is something which is not something which you order once and the next time you order would be after a couple of years. It's not some electronic item, right? It's something which is a regular requirement. So if you can really motivate this customer to use your app, he will become a regular loyal customer, and that will add a lot of business to you. There's a point called as LTV, lifetime value of a customer. Right? Okay. So if your product is worth around say $10, and if your customer, if you could acquire a customer by spending say $50, like you spend $50 to get this customer become, this person become your customer, then what happens? First time the customer makes an order, $10. Next time within 3 4 days he comes again, makes another $10, again like that. So let's say per week this particular customer orders 3 times. So what happens, by the end of second week itself, this person would have generated order worth $60. So your $50 that you have spent on getting this customer is gone, and $10 additional revenue has come in. And by the end of the month, you might actually start getting profit from this customer. And when you look at the lifetime value, you consider some 30 years or 40 years. If this customer is regularly using your app, then how much money can this customer bring in? Based on that, the companies do this cash burning initially, thinking that okay, in the lifetime I can get this much money from customers, so it's not a big thing if I have to spend initially say $50 or $100 in getting the customer. So they give deep discounts and do a lot of special offers and all those things. So we are diverging from our topic, but coming back to it, what we're saying is, what is motivating this customer to use this? By giving affordable and quick meal options, you can try to motivate this customer to use your app. So what should be, if you have to put it in specific goals, what would it be? So you have to make the food options which are there quite affordable, and you have to make your app very, very quick. It should not lag. Any screen should not take more than, maybe, some 3 or 5 milliseconds when the customer clicks on next to go to the next screen, or else Someone who is pro in using multiple apps would find it a little slow and say, okay, I don't want to use this app, I'll go for something else. So your app should be very speed, and there should be good enough variety, because college students are not someone who have some health constraints that they cannot go for too much sugary products, or they cannot go for any high calorie products and all. They'll try they always keep on trying different options, right? So as long as it's affordable, they will try any number of options that you give. So you need to give that variety of options, of food options, of restaurant options, of different cuisines, etc. and all. And then they should be very easy to use. The entire app should be very easy to use, and the order tracking should be there, because we are talking about a specific segment of customer who will be always busy. If you say that, okay, this is the time of delivery, then at that point of time they should be at that place. So maybe sometimes they're at their job, sometimes they're at the college, sometimes they're at the home. So they need to be very they should be able to track the order properly. Okay, so these are the goals that will really help in reaching this customer segment. Okay, now what are the pain points of such a customer? You're saying limited budget is one thing. Okay, because you cannot really go with beyond too much of options. Maybe you need to cut your margins for such products which you're giving to these customers, so that you can reach out to more customers of this segment. Second thing is inaccurate delivery times, because again, say the delivery time is given is half an hour, but the food delivery agent is coming in 1 hour. So this particular student was thinking, okay, I'll stay for half an hour and I'll try to get the product, and then I'll take it to my college and I'll eat it over there in the canteen. And now this particular delivery happened in one hour. So this student had to go to the college by that time, so missed out the product. So this inaccurate delivery times is hitting very hard. That is a pain point. The third thing is complex menus. If you make it very complex in terms of selections and all those things, then it becomes difficult for someone who is always on the go to make an order also. So these are the pain points. Now, what you can do in your app to make it improved is better for such a customer is, you're saying that you should make sure that there are very few steps. The lesser the number of screens between login and order confirmation, the better it is for such a customer, right, who is very professional and using multiple apps. They'll be able to quickly close the order confirmation. That will make it a delighting factor for them. Second thing is affordability features, which is nothing but you are talking about special deals, about discounts. This information should be prominently displayed in the app. Then the students will be more interested in purchasing your product, right? The third thing is making it easy to do some quick order. So what happens here is, you're saying that we'll implement quick order features, or meal bundles or favorites, which will help this Alex place the orders very efficiently. Finally, make the menu very simple. Offer very simplified menu views, and give the option to filter and search, and easy browsing and all, so that selection of food items can be done quickly. Now these are the features which you can add, okay, which will make sure that a customer who is typically a college student would prefer your app over the other food delivery apps. So this is one user persona. Similarly, now let's look at another user persona, which is totally different. Okay, now we looked, if my customer segment is students, how should I make my app more easy to use and more appealing for this customer segment? Now let me look at another customer segment which is totally away from this. So here we'll consider a lady called as Emma, who is around 30 years old. Okay, getting into details, this lady is a healthcare professional and someone who is working in the healthcare industry. Okay, what would be a typical lifestyle for such a person? Would be a little health conscious, because they know what are the different diseases that are out in them out uh, and a lot of patients coming with those diseases would know what are the specific food items which have the required vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients which will help combat these diseases, which will help prevent these diseases, and would know what can really add to the immunity of a person. So that information will be very much available to a person who is in the healthcare industry as a healthcare professional. Could be a doctor, could be a medical practitioner, could be anyone in that particular industry. And also, when that person is aware of all these things, would also be maintaining a healthy diet, eating at regular time, and preferring more of fruits and vegetables over the red meat products, and maybe putting a control on the calorie intake and all that stuff. Okay, That would be a typical lifestyle. Technological proficiency, these people also would be quite proficient with smartphones, but would be frequently using those apps which support the healthy lifestyle. So how can that help you? When you know this point, is that can you link your mobile app to any other app out there, which is also a market leader in the healthy apps out there? For example, there are certain apps which help you in counting the number of steps that you have taken, which can be linked to your, uh, the health related app that you have on iPhone. Okay, so that helps. You don't have to really log into this one. It automatically picks up the information from here and displays. Similarly, how it works is, uh, maybe if you added few more health related food items into your cart, that and then confirm your order by proceeding to checkout, then that will help you increase the number of points which you have on the step counter app, something like that. So you're trying to integrate your app with some other healthcare app, health healthy lifestyle related app, that will make this customer become more interested in using your app, something like that. So this is about the technological proficiency. The third point is motivation. What can really add or make a customer like Emma use your app is provide that access to the nutritious meal options with any dietary preference, saying that okay, this is something which has having meat, this is something which is for those people who are lactose intolerant, and this is a product which contains eggs. They require that information also, so that will really help them. What will be the goals for such a person? Healthy choices, making healthy choices while making creating a food item order. Customization, like sometimes those who actually keep a close eye on what are the nutrients would say that okay, for me on a to have a balanced diet, I need to have protein, so I'll order these food item. I need to have minerals, so I'll order these particular food item. I need to have calcium, which will come from this food item, so let me order these together. That sort of customization is what they look at. I need to have fiber in my food, so I'll have to order this one. So that, like that, customization is required. Nutrition information is also something which would be required for such a customer, right? How many calories per 100 grams of serving, and how many servings can come in this particular food product, and all that information. Then they would also be looking at order history, because just by going back to history, checking a particular item, and clicking on reorder will allow them to book it again. And convenient delivery, of course, delivery at the required time slot, selection can really help. So these are the goals for such a person. But what are the pain points such a customer who is a healthcare professional around 30 years would be typically facing? Could be around limited healthy options, which is nothing but there is a frustration when restaurants do not offer healthy choices. If they want to order food particular from a particular restaurant, they would like to know what all are the ingredients going into that particular food product, to have an idea again of the nutritional information and things like that. Now that is not there right now. Let's assume that. Okay. Similarly, incomplete nutrition information, as I said, they don't know what all nutrients are there and to what extent in a particular food item. So they would be required, they would be interested in knowing that. And of course, delays is one thing, because their goal is convenient delivery, and if it is not mentioned, if it is not provided, then that leads to some delays which are not in control, and that makes them feel that okay, this particular product is or app is not really that good. Now, what can be done by your app? Provide a healthy menu promotion. The app can highlight restaurants with healthy options. We have this, right? It shows preferred restaurants and all. Show the preferred restaurants which are providing healthy options, and display the nutrition information prominently. Second thing would be, you can ensure that a customer like this can easily customize their orders, as I had already mentioned. Like allow the customer to select. Sometimes you can suggest also, okay, if you want to add a food product which is high in fiber, then you can add this particular cereal to your uh, cart, something like that. It makes the customer feel more interested in using the app. The third thing over here is order history and favorites. So what you're doing is you're saying implement the features which can help in saving the order history details and make it easy to even access that order history details. It should not be buried somewhere inside your app. You click on menu, then click on a specific option, then click on order, then select a particular date range, and then see the order history. That makes it a little cumbersome. Customer may never do that and then complain that I don't know where to find the order history. So you should make it easy to find the order history. Okay, maybe once the customer clicks on orders, it shows that okay, you ordered the product which you ordered maximum number of times was this particular product, which was ordered around 10 times in the last 2 months, something like that. You're making it easy to understand and allow the customer to add something to the favorites also. And also, maybe you show a new banner or something whenever there's a new vegan or a new uh, organic related restaurant that has got opened up in the locality. Show that as a banner. That that helps. So what you're doing is you're seeing how you can really make the features available in your app, which will attract customers who are of this particular persona. Similarly, as I said, you can have a third persona, which is about IT professional around 40 years of age. You can have a fourth persona, which is about a person who is, a self-employed, okay, who's a business, who's running a business. And the fifth one could be of someone who is working as an investment banker, who's super busy and who cannot even spend more than say 10 minutes to have a meal. You will have multiple user personas, then you see how to understand these lifestyle, technological proficiency, goals, pain points, and then according to that come up with the features. So what you're doing is you're trying to make user personas and then according to it make your app become more and more efficient. When you discuss these things with the stakeholders, you get more and more points from them. In fact, you can create a user persona and say that a major segment of population of ours falls into this particular segment and we need to focus on this. That is also a value add that you can create during the requirements elicitation process. Okay, so this is one of the requirements elicitation or documentation technique, like you elicit and then get the information then document it. Okay, I hope this is something very interesting and also useful for you. We'll stop this video here and we'll meet in the next one. Okay. Thanks everyone.